Happy Sunday. I know I look a little bit different. Make sure you stick around to see why. But I thought I'd talk about my weekend plans just gone. So I went down to London on Thursday and I went to go and visit the Knit and Stitch show. And you'll have seen a few videos back I talked about going to Birmingham at the NEC and checking out the Quilt Festival. And this is another show that I like to go to. So I went to the Knit and Stitch show last year, and I do love this one because it's in the stunning Alexandra Palace. And this show's a really good one. It's always super busy, and it's a great opportunity because it's quite a bit after when the sewing bee airs that you can go and meet all of the old bees and the new bees as well, because they're not in incognito anymore, so you can sit down and chat with them all. But also I've heard and been involved in Bee Bingo, where so many of you go to these shows and see if you can get as many pictures with the bees as possible. And that's always fun to be a part of as well. So seeing the other bees and chatting to all of the fans do make these craft shows super special. But if you've never been to one, there's many different stalls with materials and tools for knitting, sewing, crochet, you name it, it's probably going to be there. And then there's always kind of a stage and other kind of pop-up stages where you can go and see people talk and teach techniques. And last year I did drag at the Knit and Stitch show, and I got to come back this year and do drag again on the catwalk, hence why I have no facial hair. But before I show you my drag outfit and what that was like, I thought I'd show you what I bought while I was in London. So the first thing actually wasn't at the Knit and Stitch show. On Friday morning, I went down to the Arches at London Bridge to go and see my favourite designer, which is Versace. There's a Gianni Versace retrospective exhibition where you can go and see loads of different kind of items from the collections. And I picked up this book that's got a lot of the kind of display pieces in here with kind of more detail around kind of the inspiration, who it was for. And it was great because as soon as you walk in, you're kind of confronted with maybe up to 30 of the Versace print shirts that were designed as a collection for Elton John. And there's a voiceover with Elton John talking about kind of how he loved wearing the shirts and collecting the shirts. And then you kind of walk around and see all the other kind of iconic Versace pieces from, you know, some of the couture on the runways, all the way to some of the ready-made stuff, to homeware. It was, for me, like a kid in a candy shop. And then in one of the final sections, there was kind of some iconic muses of Gianni Versace. So a lot of work for Lady Diana, to George Michael, to Elton John, some of the supermodels. It was amazing. So I'm so glad I got to go and see that collection and take away a little souvenir as well. And because at these shows, I get to go to quite a few of these shows, and it's very easy to go and buy lots of things and come back with more than I was planning. So this year I was very reserved, and I just bought some fabric. So 2 pieces. On Thursday I popped into the Knit and Stitch show for a meeting and went to go and see Rainbow Fabrics because they always have some incredible denim. And I saw this roll of denim with kind of diamantes on, and I thought I'm gonna get some of that. And then when I turned up on the Friday, it was mostly gone. So I got the last bit on the roll, and it's a light wash denim with these little kind of like diamante stones on. And I think I've got about 1 meter here. So I need to think about how I can incorporate this into a look. I don't know if it's gonna be for me necessarily, but I just couldn't resist this. It's so sparkly, so camp, and it might make quite a cool waistcoat or even a docker hat actually. So let me know what you would make if you were to get this fabric. And then if you've been following along on my kind of capsule wardrobe collection, I've been really loving printed trousers, especially the Rowan pattern. And I saw this kind of checkered print denim, and this is just amazing. I got a couple of meters of this, and I think I will make a pair of trousers, but I'm also toying with making a jacket. I know I've made a few recently, so my painter's shacket pattern, I've made a happily dressed jacket pattern as well, but I'm thinking I might make more of a longer layered kind of coat jacket. I'm not too sure, but I do want to do something slightly different with this fabric, and it's just so cool, and I just love working with denim. So that's all I bought on my trip to the Knit and Stitch show. But on to drag. So I got asked to be part of the drag catwalk this year. I did it last year with the wonderful Grace, who is the House of Alistair, who's on YouTube as well. And I was invited back again this year to do We Three Queens. And I asked my lovely friend Chanel from Drag Race to come along. And me, Grace and Chanel did a catwalk of me-made outfits that we'd made for our drag characters. And I used some incredible fabric from Minerva to create my look, and I draped a corset on my Mimikins model. And I really wanted to play with the structure that you can get with boning and using corset fabric. And drag can be very uncomfortable. You have to have a lot underneath the outfit, from padding to other corsets to shapewear, prosthetics that you can add on. And I wanted to build some of that into a corset so I didn't have to wear it underneath. So I was able to shape kind of the breast cups, the hips, all within the corset, and just wear a t-shirt underneath, which was super comfy. And then I took this kind of what I like to call brat green taffeta to drape and wrap around the bottom to form the skirt with a big pleated knot detail at the front. And I just really love this. I stoned some of the corset as well. I made a sheer top to cover kind of the top area and some sparkly gloves, and it was super camp, and I thought it was really stylish as well. And my lovely friend Barb, who is a drag queen in Manchester, designed my wig, and I was ready for the catwalk. So nice to bring kind of what I love, drag, the transformation that it brings, the costuming, the kind of creativity that you might not have with everyday wear to something like the Knit and Stitch show is really important for me. I've kind of moved away a little bit from drag, or at least talking about drag on socials, because not to kind of bring the mood down, but after the sewing bee there was some not great comments about having a drag performer on the sewing bee and talking about drag. It's very polarizing for people, and that's okay, but I'm really passionate about it, and having the response that I and the other performers got at the Knit and Stitch show really kind of gave me energy to show more of it. So that's why I thought I'd pop on today, short video, and just show you what I got up to at the weekend. And let me know if you want to see some more drag, whether it's kind of me getting ready, my process of designing drag looks, or even designing for other performers. I'm down for showing all of that. So have a great week, and I will see you next week.